Ryan Haig taking the draw for the Outlaws. He's up against Tyler Halls for the Express. Express wearing their black with the yellow and gray and white trim. Going left to right, Oshawa in the white with the blue and red trim. Extended first face-off battle. It pops out, and Ben McDonald will track it down. It's got Colin Matthews all over him, and the Express will come away with the ball. They will have the first possession. They get it out to Halls. He's going to stay for this offensive set. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hall's waiting for the change to finish. Now he'll flip it across. That was tipped away by Braden Hickey, and Hickey's going to get after it. Quick change by the Express. Good job to get Jonah Beam out on the floor, but a shot by Ryan Nolan. That one is up and out of play. A pretty big discussion over on the Oshawa bench, but we are ready to roll. Brampton up into the offensive zone. They flip it across, and Max Brook had to double clutch, but he did pull it in. That's a hard rip. Stopped by Brown. Almost tucked back by Lucas Ferreira, but another save by Jackson Brown. Looking sharp and athletic to start this one off. Here's Josh Gilray. Took the pass from Reed Chamberlain. That's John St. John. Leading scorer for the Outlaws. Over to Luke Laskowitz, leader in points per game for this club. Oh, no, not anymore, actually. We'll get to that, but that is very close as Rushka snagging that one. Wearing his Ottawa Black Bears bucket. Looking pretty sharp. Fighting through traffic here. Robert Costello. Mitchell Jeffroy flips over. That's going to get away as Taguri is all over Zach Sunderland. Oh, but Sunderland swats it back. Jeffroy comes up with it. That one's picked off by Reagan Martinell. Martinell on the run. Saw his dad out in the lobby tonight. Sure, he's off to our right. Where is he? Might be still in the lobby watching through the glass. Nathan Jones up over center, drops it there. Jeremy Searle driving to the net, gets a pick. Hickey out on him. Jones flips to the far side. You can hear the communication. Big pop defensively there from Trent Robertson. Robertson, number 12 in white, just getting to the bench now, wearing that Black Bears helmet. He's on their practice squad. He looked very good playing for them in the preseason. I filmed a couple of their games. He looked pretty solid. He's a big, solid body. Likes to annoy people, hit them hard, and make them think twice about coming in. But he was playing very good lacrosse as well. Here's Costello on the run. He's going to get a pick. Runs himself nicely in position and scores. First goal of the game. And it's Robert Costello putting the Express up 1-0. Brampton, the second highest scoring team in the league with 15.7 goals per game. It's a full 1.4 goals more than Oshawa, who are actually tied for third overall in goals for with 14.3. The big difference between the two teams is on the defensive side. Here we are 3 minutes in, and Brampton giving up just 10.2 goals per game, well ahead of the rest of the league in first place per game. Oshawa, 15.7 goals against. That's fourth overall, but that puts them at a -6 in goals for and against, while Brampton is a very strong +27. Okay, so yeah, just hearing the PA announcement saying it was Kobe Hanser. I was like, wait a second. That was just a white versus black issue on the jerseys. That's going to be a 30-second violation on Oshawa, but Brampton was already up over center, and Tyler Halls will hand the ball off. Here comes Ferreira. Tried to feed it through Ben McDonald, who's been sensational for the Outlaws. Knocked that one down. Here comes Ryan Nolan on the run. Okay, so it would appear that Keegan Walsh is wearing the 23, not Costello. I was told Costello was scratched, but I was given Walsh wearing the 37. Must have been a late change. So good for Keegan Walsh coming in and getting that one. It's going to be a face-off. Looks like the ball may have gotten stuck between the carpet and the wall. John St. John just getting to the Oshawa bench for the face-off team. He is leading their club with 45 points in 6 games, that's 7.5 per game. Luke Laskowicz has played just 3 games, has 22 points for 7.3 per game. So they're third and fifth overall in the league. Brampton, interestingly, does not have anyone right up near the top of the league in scoring and points per game and total points. But they are very balanced. Curtis Ward with 35 points. Zach Sunderland, 30 points, including a team leading 14 goals as this battle continues. Pentistrat with 24 points. James Whiteford's out tonight. He's got 18. Jake McNabb, 16. McNabb also not here. There's a save by Jackson Brown on Tyler Halls, who can be very dangerous. Here's St. John, the all-time leading scorer in the Arena League. Misses that shot fairly wide. It's going to bounce back, though, to Reed Chamberlain. And they've still got 15 on the shot clock as Chamberlain backpedals along the near boards. Leaves it for Josh Gilray. Two-man game. They got it through to Chamberlain. Rushka had no trouble with that. It was pretty well defended. We're going to try and flip it up as it's a fresh 20. That was Zach Terry passing it ahead. Terry takes it back. We'll see how he's moving. He rolled his ankle on a ball in warm-up. They had to tape him pretty heavily, but let's see how he does on that left foot. Gets a big push there from Jonah Beam. Bouncer from Gilray. Nice try, but it's wide, and the shot clock will expire. Jackson Brown about to face the Brampton offense. Comes into the game having played 264 minutes, the vast majority, well, the majority of the team's minutes. It's allowing 14.31 goals against. Long outlet pass. Nice one through to Nick Webb. Webb cuts to the middle, fires, rings it off the knee of Rushka, who's played 243 minutes. That is the majority for Brampton as well. He's back up by Matteo Baudouin. Sunderland, nice job to maintain possession after dropping down and popping back up. So Rushka 4-0 with a 9.85 goals against average. It would be fair to say he's had probably more solid defense overall in front of him. But, Ryan Nolan goes to the turf, gives it up. Brampton doesn't love that after the collision with the official. The refs are part of the game, though. Mitchell Jeffroy got it. And penalty coming now to Oshawa. Curtis Ward to Sunderland, rings it off the post. And Brampton's going to get it back. Will that be? It's not an over and back. Martinell fighting hard for it. Curtis Ward tries to grab it. Jeffroy has it. Nice heads-up play to get it to Jeremy Searle. The lane opens and he rips one in. Just nobody picked up Searle after he took that pass from Jeffroy. Good effort by the Express to keep that play going. And 7:01 into the first quarter, they go up 2-0. Halls and Haig once again. That goal is, the penalty is wiped out by the Searle goal. Another extended battle. Haig comes out with it. Pretty nice job of not taking steps with the ball in his stick. St. John takes that pass, turns, rips it. St. John with the forecheck, but Tyler Halls runs through it. Flips it over. Love the idea. Didn't quite get it up from where it was going to be easy for Colin Matthews to play that ball. Lots more action coming this weekend. Go to Arenalacrosseleague.ca. See the schedule standings. Nice hustle by Josh Gurry to get off the floor so Kobe Hanser can get up over center and leave it there for Laskowitz. Oh, Penalty coming. Looks like that'll be to Thomas McDonald, a holding call. I was actually thinking McDonald was beaten pretty cleanly and barely even got contact on Laskowitz, but I guess it's just enough of a grab to send Oshawa to the first power play of the day. And we are in the officials' timeout with 7:09 to go in the first quarter. It's 2-0 for Brampton, and when we come back, it will be the Outlaws on the man advantage. Welcome back to Cross Friends. We are ready to roll with the Oshawa power plays. Luke Laskowitz starts with the ball. He'll captain quarterback this man advantage. Oshawa goes strong right. John St. John down in the lefty crease. And here's Jake Gilmore. Is at the lefty shooter spot. It's going to be Chamberlain tracking that one down. Josh Gilray down in the corner. Laskowitz will rip it. It is going to be a reset. It gets off of Rushka. Gets out to Reed Chamberlain. Fresh 20 for the Outlaws. Laskowitz and Chamberlain will invert back to their starting spot. Now St. John comes up high. Laskowitz thought about the feed, it looked like, down to Gilmore. Took the shot instead. They're down to 4 on the shot clock. St. John takes a look, realizes he has time. Shot by Chamberlain. Nice save, Rushka. Love that pass from St. John. That's a veteran play. Again, the all-time leader in scoring. But now, at the far end, Pent Istrat with the goal for Brampton. As I was going through the lineups with head coach Jeff Dowling of Brampton before the game, and I said, went over who the righty and lefty forwards are, who's playing O for them, and I said, so Pent Istrat's playing at the back door, he's playing D, and he said, hopefully he'll be all over the floor. He was all over the floor on that one, takes the outlet pass, and rams it home to make it 3-0 Express. Halls and Haig again. This time Halls has it. Haig with some slashes. Try and dislodge it. Not able to. And here comes Cooper Jackson. Now he gets sandwiched, fights through it, and rips one. Oh, and there's a big hit on Jackson. Colin Matthews comes over, and Brampton is stunned that there was no call on that play. Cooper Jackson definitely looking shaken up. It sounds like that was Pent Istrat from Jonah Beam, the veteran, an alternate captain for this club. And Beam was there having a word with one of the officials as Cooper Jackson is still down on the floor, being tended to by Morgan Coe. And Tyler Halls is over there. Cooper Jackson is up on his feet, getting some help to get off the floor. Head to the dressing room, certainly hoping that he is okay. Big collision. He got sandwiched between the two defenders. There's no call on the play, so we will continue the Oshawa power play. There'll be 47 seconds left in the penalty to Brampton, the Thomas McDonald holding call. John St. John will begin with possession. 5:57 to go here in the first quarter. Certainly all our thoughts with Cooper Jackson. St. John to Laskowitz. Back up to St. John. He's going to go behind the back. Zach Terry rips one. Terry, that was an absolute rocket. Foot doesn't appear to be bothering his shooting. Terry coming in with 22 goals, second in the league entering this weekend. And he is very creative at finding ways to score. Laskowitz gets a lane backdoor. Oh, what a save by Rushka, going post to post. Don't know. I didn't see a reset initially, so not sure. But here's Horsley. Andrew Horsley will bounce one. That's off of Jackson Brown. Gets up out of play, just up into the netting above the boards behind the Oshawa goal here in the first quarter. Curtis Ward will start with it. Ward leading this club with 35 points, including 13 goals, 22 assists. Terrific season for him. He's just kept doing it here in this league. Fairly overlooked player, I think, in a lot of cases, but all he does is score and play good, solid lacrosse. Here's an outlet pass to Max McPherson. Head to St. John, just under 5 to play here in the first quarter. As St. John leaves it to Laskowitz. Oh, no, he didn't. That was actually a pretty good hidden ball trick. St. John gets a pick from Gilmore. You can hear the defenders yelling fire. Now Gilmore is open, fires it, and Rushka pins that between his arm and body. Rushka looking sharp. Boy, when he is on, he can be spectacular. Like most goalies, I guess, it's hard to be consistent between the pipes. So many things affect things. But boy, now there's another Brampton player. This is Tyler Halls down on the floor up behind the play. .410 to go here in the first. Ball comes into Gilray, getting it from Braden Hickey. Zach Terry follows him through the middle. They couldn't get it to him as they're trying to find Hickey. There's Andrew Horsley again. Nobody with him, so he'll just slow it up. Now he will get a pick from Daniel Clark. Ward, followed by a couple of Outlaws, including Josh Taguri. Driving downhill is Jeremy Searle. Almost had another one just off target. Going to be scooped there by Clofer. It's Brett Clofer on the run. That one gets up out of play, and it will become Brampton possession. Neil Adamson up over center. Colin Matthews up for an offensive shift. One-on-one drives to the net. Pretty nice job of getting around a couple defenders. Gets the shot off, and we'll get a reset. Started to head to the bench, and they said, no, just stay here. It is a 20-second reset in the Arenalacrosseleague on repossessions. Keeps things moving. Nice job jumping that defensively. Adam Horlak gets out there, and that's not going to be an over and back, but it will be a shot clock violation. The shot clock was reset, but I think it was a mistake. Yeah, I can see our shot clock operator shaking the mechanism. So they're saying there was a touch, and they've reset it and given Brampton the ball back. Okay, so now they are going back to 13 on the shot clock, and I think the shot clock operator was hoping they'd wait until we got down to 13. Now we're underway. All is well. We've got 2:46 to go, and almost banking that one in was Lucas Ferreira. It'll be scooped up by Liam Keane. He comes out of the corner and blasts one. Jackson Brown pounces out to get his rebound. Long bounce pass. Nice job to McPherson. Rushka may have got a piece of that. He did not. It's going to be an over and back, but that'll be irrelevant as McDonald picks this one up over to Curtis Ward. He loves that shooting lane, but I think it was tipped by a defender out front. Yeah, it was off of Ryan Nolan. McPherson taking off, trying to get to that ball. Nice job battling him. 3 Express players work to try and get possession, and eventually they do. That's actually a tough situation there for Keegan Walsh, but he fights out of it. Good effort. So it may have been Ty Ingram wearing the 23, wearing the 33, not the 23. Jackson Brown fixing up his gear, checking his stick out behind the play as the Outlaws head into the offensive zone, trying to get their first goal of the quarter. Laskowitz off of Rushka, up out of play. I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but Rushka means pair in Czech. Found that out when I was in Prague with Lane at a tournament. Tyler Hall's lost his stick, so he can't go for the outlet pass, but no need when you got wheels like Nathan Jones. Look at that speed. Got to work a little bit on the accuracy with that shot, but excellent opportunity. May have been just a little bit excited, young player, getting a breakaway chance. Here comes Robertson. Braden Hickey flicks it down into the corner. Gilroy's just going to wait for things to be settled in the offensive zone. Down to a dozen seconds on the shot clock. St. John loading it up. Now we'll rip the pass to Laskowitz. Tried the bouncer, knocked down by Beam. 5 on the shot clock, so Brampton no interest in picking this one up. Gilroy gets it, but he's going to run out of time. Oh, and Lane Rush is going to take a penalty. No, who's taking a penalty? Yeah, I think it is Rushka getting that penalty. Is Gilroy hadn't given the ball up yet. Rushka didn't like it and just checked his stick. Usually it's an interference of checking in the crease, not checking out of the crease, but I guess the other way works. Oshawa back to the power play. 45 seconds in the first quarter. St. John to Laskowitz. He's getting underneath. Out to Chamberlain. There's some room for St. John. Blast one. It's off Rushka. It'll be a fresh 30 as Chamberlain gets it. Immediate pressure by Eistrat. Solid shift there, and then he heads back. He's going to go right over to St. John. Gilroy fires one. That was off of either Rushka or a defender, up and out of play, so a fresh 20 for Oshawa. Gilmore working in the middle and getting worked over a bit. Should have said another pick, a big one, trying to open up St. John, who rips it across to Chamberlain. Bouncer, and that's off of the goaltender again. So with 11.1 to go in the first, Oshawa still maintains possession. Those have to be some tired penalty killers behind the back. Chamberlain, backdoor. Oh, what a save. Rushka going post to post. And then they let the ball sit while Rushka and the rest of the Brampton defense catch their breath. A frantic flurry in front of the Express net, but they hold off the Outlaws to lead 3-0 through 15 minutes. And we'll be back to Arena Lacrosse League action after this quick break. One quarter in the books. The Express lead 3-0 here at Children's Arena in Oshawa. I'm Steven Stamp with Arena Lacrosse League Action. Thanks so much for being with us. Remember, you can go to the Arena Lacrosse League YouTube channel or right on the website, arenalacrosseleague.ca. All the games streamed to YouTube and embedded on the channel from the Arena League East and the Arena League West, which just wrapping up their season or into their playoffs. Some exciting action out there. We're a little ahead in the season schedule. Ryan Nolan comes up with it. That was Braden Hickey who takes a big cross-check to the face from Andrew Horsley. Well, not big, but a cross-check to the face nonetheless. Back to St. John. He's going to go back to Laskowitz. Immediately back to St. John. They're trying to draw the defenders over. It works as they get some space. That one's just off target, though. St. John with 3 to shoot. Gilray behind the back. That's off target. Gilmore was there, but ran out of time. He'll have to just drop the ball. And it's almost an exact match between the shot clock and penalty clock. So Brampton will be able to kill the remainder of their penalty. That Pent Ice Trap might just go ahead and take a go there. Searle trying to fight through the middle. Diving attempt, and that's a goal. Ice Trap will have a go, and he'll finish at a shorthanded marker. 11 seconds left in the penalty. And Jeremy Searle with a little celebration. I think that was a Brampton Express celly. Sounded like he was being a train. That's what I'm going with. 4-0 for the Express. Haig and Hall's back at the dot. Hall's another Arena Lacrosse League player who spent some time in the National Lacrosse League and certainly a candidate to return. Very solid defender. Doesn't take very exciting face-offs, but it's all right. This is a grind between Halls and Haig. Haig rips it out, slams it to the turf, and it's grabbed by Colin Matthews. So fast, Matthews. Doesn't need the speed there. He just needs to get clear, which he does. Here's Zach Sunderland. Feeding it through. That one's knocked loose. Sunderland almost had it, but instead it's Braden Hickey. Rips a sidearm. The Rushka stops. Maintains his clean slate so far. Rushka actually had a shutout quarter in an NLL preseason game when he was playing with that man, Trent Robertson. Robertson rips it. Rushka stops that. You see them both wearing the Black Bears helmets. That game was in Brampton, where you'll see the Express play their home games. Ottawa was up against Rochester. Here's a drive to the net. Diving attempt or jumping attempt by Curtis Ward. It's turned aside. There'll be a fresh 20 for Brampton if they get it. They do. They hit the cutting Searle. Hard rip. Jackson Brown pulls it into his own net. Brown trying to hang on to that rebound, pull it back to himself, and he just pulls it right over the goal line. That's a tough one for the goalie. I remember seeing an MSL game years ago. Kitchener-Waterloo was playing in Peterborough, and Mike Poulin, the one-time NLL goalie of the year, the Calgary Roughnecks, was playing for KW, and he picked up a ball in his crease and pulled it back behind him to throw a pass. It rolled out of his stick and into the net. It's a goal. And I talked to him after the game. I said, how do you focus on that? What do you do? That's got to be frustrating. He said, yeah, you just try and forget it. Hope it doesn't turn out to be a one-goal game, which, of course, it was. Peterborough won that game by 1 goal. That was Mike Poulin, even after a game in which a really tough mistake like that cost them. He was ready to talk and very positive. Here's Brampton looking to add more. Colin Matthews, bouncer, that's not in. Now we have a penalty coming on Oshawa. It's going to be Ryan Haig taking the slashing call. That would explain why Lane Rushka was at the bench. Rushka, the pride of Saskatchewan, has established himself now in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. And Ferreira will start at the top for Brampton as they go lefty strong. Right back to Sunderland, getting it from Reed Chamberlain. Chamberlain, the quick, or sorry, that was Liam Keane, number 20. They're going to say through the crease and first to play the ball. So that's going to be Oshawa possession. And booking it up the floor is Ben McDonald. Hands it off to Taguri. Stays in case he needs an outlet. Now with St. John there, McDonald gets to the bench. Really nice rotational play. St. John takes a swat there from Beam. Withstands it, hits the cutter. Terry scores. Zach Terry not looking too bothered by that ankle. It's well taped up by Morgan Coe, the trainer for the Outlaws. Terry, such great hands. He manages to bang that one home, and shorthanded goal the other way. Oshawa is on the board. They trail 5-1. Just over 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. Again, Terry coming in with 22 goals, second in the league, trailing only Aaron Woods of the Peterborough Timbermen. Oshawa looks like they had possession again, shorthanded, but then turned it over on a pass. There's a penalty coming now. It's going to be an illegal substitution. So that will negate the power play for the Express. We'll go to 4-on-4 lacrosse for the next minute and 12 seconds, and then it will be an Oshawa power play for 48 seconds, barring further penalties. Or, of course, a goal by Oshawa in that 48-second period. Velasquez wide, that's going to get out of play into the netting. Oh, they're saying it's off of Brampton. Not sure who it touched. Keegan Walsh will serve that penalty for the Express, the illegal sub. Here's Laskowitz, gets a pick from Chamberlain, another one. There's the roll. Really nice two-man game by the youngster Reed Chamberlain. Still a U22 player. Lovely play there. 4-on-4 goal for Oshawa. So they've got a shorthander and a 4-on-4. Now they just need to get things rolling at 5-on-5, and they'll be right back in this game. McPherson out to take the draw as Haig is in the penalty box. He's doing just as good a job of mucking this one up as Haig has generally done. Now we're going to have a holding call as Tyler Halls was kind of yanked down to the turf. And Halls will head to the bench via Max McPherson, going straight through him after he got tossed down. Now McPherson getting into it with Liam Keane. Here they go. Keane with the ball, McPherson on him. This is quite a one-on-one matchup. Keane lost him, but the pass gets away. That is off of Oshawa. But Taguri, great job hustling after Curtis Ward, and it's Oshawa possession. Hits Laskowitz and scores. Really nice substitution by Oshawa to get Laskowitz out there. That's the last guy you want to be leaving open in the slot if you're Brampton. Really nice job, though, by Josh Taguri. Such a smart player. And he finds the wide open Luke Laskowitz. Scoring 3 goals a game, which honestly is pretty much normal for him. He is a great shooter. 3 seconds left in the 4-on-4. That one's going to get better play. Who was it off? Yep, they're saying it's off of Oshawa, so it'll be Brampton possession. The veteran Jonah Beam is going to fight through. It's knocked away by Ryan Nolan. It's going to be tight on the 8-second count. He's got to just roll it up the floor. And it'll go to Oshawa. And they've got 45 seconds left on their man advantage. Nick Webb leaves it for John St. John. St. John to Terry. Last one, but it's off target. Neil Adamson spun and actually knocked that ball back towards the net, but away from it. In the direction of the net, but not at the net. Nice pass by Adamson to Istrat. We've already seen what he can do. He's going to let this one fire, and he scores shorthanded again. 2 shorthanded goals for Pent Istrat. 16 seconds left on the Oshawa power play, and Brampton snaps the Outlaws run, makes it 6-3 with 9:30 to go here in the half. Like that play, Ben McDonald heading to the Oshawa bench. The scorekeeper was pointing out, or the PA man, Mike, was pointing out the penalty box door wasn't closed. He can't get to it because there's a board in between them. So McDonald closed it. I like that. Good sportsmanship. Trent Robertson with a couple of big whacks there. Not sure Colin Matthews liked it. Here's Tyler Halls, flips it back up to Horsley. We'll go back to Matthews. We approach 9 minutes to go in the second. Curtis Ward quickly into the corner. They keep it moving, coming all the way around to Sunderland. Isolate him on Haig. He ducks underneath. Good slide help from Hickey, so he goes back door. Nice attempt. Jeff Roy couldn't quite bury that one, and then he's called through the crease first to play it. Trent Robertson gives him a mitt full of glove. And I think Robertson's going to the box for that one. Yeah, so the roughing call to Robertson is going to put Brampton on the power play. Robertson, known for being a rough and tumble customer, has a very solid game. I thought he was playing very well in the preseason, but has been known to take some penalties. Goes for the territory. There's a bounce shot, Jeremy Searle. That's a beauty. Bouncing that one in to make it 7-3, just 8 seconds into that man advantage. 8:39 to go. Once again, the Oshawa penalty box door left open, but this time, player running the bench reaches over and gets it shut, and we're ready to roll. 8:39 to go. It's 7-3 Brampton. Somebody's got to get this ball out of here at some point. Haig pulls it out. Matthews almost had it. Pops up in the air. Halls had it, but he had his stick actually still turned over. Halls goes to the turf after a collision with Ryan Nolan, and Halls is on the ground. Yeah, he should be blowing. Okay, Halls is back up. And he's going to actually play that, get possession. Are you kidding? How tough is that? And Tyler Halls will flip it over to Pent Istrat and then double over again, make his way over to the bench. He's going to head down the hall. He was banged up. What a play, though. Great effort there from Halls. That's a touch, so it's not over and back, but it's Hickey on it anyway. Braden Hickey will flip it over to Ben McDonald. Laskowitz there, but Beam picks him up. They were very aware of Laskowitz this time. And Jake Gilmore will fight out of traffic and get it to Gilray. This is Gilray, underhand, back up. That's going to be over and back. And we have reached the officials' timeout with 7:17 to go in the second quarter. It's 7-3 for the Brampton Express over the Oshawa Outlaws. I'm Steven Stamp. Thanks for being with us for Arena Lacrosse League action. Welcome back, lacrosse friends. Brampton with possession. Working out from behind the net. Van Scheppen moves it on quickly. Van Scheppen. Ferreira. Sorry, that's the wrong Brampton lacrosse family. Driving to the net. That's now Robertson's going to get a pop to the face from Searle. They're going after each other. Officials jump in and separate. Robertson wants to go. Quite a conversation going on between the benches. See what the penalties are. I'd imagine they'll probably be matching for these. Searle definitely went after Robertson. So imagine something had happened in the trenches that we didn't see. Searle came after him, fired up. Robertson ready to jump in. Extended discussion. You can see the officials kind of back and forth. Here's what happened here. Here's what happened there. And now they're doing a good job of hiding their talk from us anyway. So it's going to be Oshawa possession. Yeah, St. John and Beam want to find out what the calls are. Oshawa head coach Ryan McMichael is still lobbying for a 5-minute major for face masking. Brampton's bench is responding that Robertson took his own helmet off. I think McMichael's probably talking about before that because Searle came after him and definitely got up into the grill. Right now, we've got 2 players in each penalty box. So far, just a minor up on the board. That's going to be Keegan Walsh for Brampton and Reagan Martinell for Oshawa going in to serve whatever the extra time is. Or actually, they'll serve the minors. Okay, so now we've got 2 up on each side. There's a little confusion, I think, between the officials because we've got minors up on each side of the scoreboard, which means it should be 4-on-4. We'll see what the announced penalties are. One ref's going over to talk to the penalty box, and they will sort things out. There you see what's on the scoreboard. Minor up on each side. Brampton's ahead 7-3. And now Oshawa has sent Zach Terry to the bench. So we will go 4-on-4 with 6:54 to go. And Oshawa with possession. St. John has it. And here we go. Back underway. Gilmore over to Laskowitz. Tried to hit the cutting St. John. It was about knee high. That's a tough pass to catch. St. John gets it from Gilmore. One little fake. Circling the top. Behind the back. Nice feed. Gilmore, it's a goal. What a great play on the pick and roll, a 2-man game. And Gilmore buries it. Okay, let's get another shot of the scoreboard because it looks like we have changed. So it looks like 2 penalties went up for Brampton, double minor to Jeremy Searle, and just 1 for Trent Robertson, which means we're 4-on-4 for the 2 minutes, and then Oshawa will have their penalty. And I imagine Searle and Robertson are out for a while. We haven't heard the announcement yet. Mike hasn't had much time to get things announced. There's only 18 seconds of 4-on-4 play. Tagari almost had that one. It will be Ben McDonald who circles back, surveys, and lobs a nice pass ahead to Hickey, going to the net, stopped by Rushka, lands in the crease. And McDonald changes direction. Nice job getting by. Cuts over center. Thomas McDonald getting some praise from his bench. And he'll head over there for a change as Curtis Ward flips it to Zach Sunderland. It feels like a pretty nice balanced approach to scoring for Brampton once again. Sutherland cuts through 3 defenders and gets the shot off. Stopped by Jackson. Fires it ahead to McDonald. He sees 2 black jerseys. He's going to fire it. Tested Rushka, who had to be sharp. McDonald almost had it. Still battling for it. Should be a fresh, I guess, 30 or 20. Fresh 20 for Oshawa because they had possession. Tried to hit Terry. Seems to be moving fine once again. He was quite clear when McMichael asked him, what'd you do? He said, well, I just rolled it. How are you? I'm playing. Oh, my goodness. Luke Laskowitz. I believe that's 3 tonight. All he does is score hat tricks. What a blast from downtown with 14 left in the 4-on-4 to make it 8-4. 5:09 to play. Sorry, 7-5. Just giving that goal to Brampton. My bad. Halls and Haig once again. With 5:09 to play. 14 left on the 4-on-4. And Oshawa, oh, that's an early jump. Haig knows. He hopped up and just went to the bench. Gets his playing twig. There's a pass to Istrat. Great pass back. Did Jackson Brown get it? He did. That's a heck of a save by Jackson Brown. Glorious chance for the Express. St. John thought he was going to rip that one. It goes to Laskowitz, though. Fresh 20 for the Outlaws. And they are on the power play now as it comes up to St. John behind the back. St. John goes down low to Gilray. Laskowitz tried to get it back to him. It's going to bounce off the back boards, and Terry rips an underhand. The shot clock will expire. That was the 20 on the reset. Tyler Hall's up over center. Clofer coming up to meet him. Good to see Halls is fine. So he heads back to the Brampton bench. Hoping Cooper Jackson is okay for Oshawa. He left earlier in the game. 11 on the shot clock as Sunderland staying clear of Jake Strocher. He gets a rip off. Almost getting to the goal line. You can see Jackson Brown just spin around and pop on that one. We're in the final minute of the Oshawa power play. They're within 2. Again, this is the 8th place team in Oshawa against the 1st place team in Brampton. You can see gap from top to bottom is not huge. So we have quite a battle going on here. Backdoor attempt. Gilray stopped. Comes back out to Laskowitz. Skip pass. Gilmore underhand. Tried to get through to Gilray. May have been tipped. That one's knocked away from Nathan Jones. Brampton wants it over and back. Rushka makes the stop, and they'll come away with possession. Istrat. Couple of shorthanded goals. Can he make it the shorthanded hat trick? Istrat is standing out in this game. Coming in 3rd on the team in scoring in 5 games, 9 goals, 15 assists for 4.8 points per game. Playing a fair bit of forward, but you can see he's effective at either end of the floor. 6 on the shot clock. Curtis Ward with a shot. That one's in. They do get the shorthanded goal. It's not Istrat this time, although he was part of it. He was out there hugging Curtis Ward. Great blast from Ward, and that shorty makes it 8-5 with 2:57 to go. So just under 3.5, and it's a 3-goal lead for Brampton. Hagen Halls will return to the dot. So just 3 seconds on the Oshawa power play. will be Keegan Walsh returning to the floor after serving that one. And Robertson and Searle for Oshawa and Brampton respectively are still in the box. Everyone just has to mill around until that ball pops out. As Haig and Halls pushing hard against each other, shoulder to shoulder. Nobody called for withholding. Nobody able to get the ball out. What a battle. And it finally comes out. It's still a wild scramble, but Taguri is there. He's got it, driving to the net. Penalty coming to Colin Matthews on that one. Ryan Haig bounces it wide. Will be tracked down by Braden Hickey, who actually then kicks it. Gets away from him. So with 2:08 to go in the half, it'll be an Oshawa power play. Holding the call to Matthews. Laskowitz starts at the top as Oshawa strong right once again. Chamberlain down to Gilray. Gilmore and St. John, the other players on the power play, as they have tended to be. Laskowitz on the backside, rips one just wide. Oh, it did go off of either Rushka or the post. So it's a fresh 20. St. John up to Chamberlain. Oh, nice fake. Hard twister. Stopped by Rushka. Terrific play by the young Chamberlain. Now he's battling for that loose ball possession. Beam came away with it. Gets knocked loose from him. Flips it, but straight out to St. John. That's just wide. No, they're saying it did go off of Rushka. So a fresh 20 for Oshawa. Minute 22 in the half. Minute 10 now in the power play. Gilmore. Laskowitz likes that one, but it closed off quickly. Nice hustle. Gilmore actually took a cross check to the face from Halls, and that's going to lead to an ice trap breakaway. Nice save, Brown, to stop the shorthanded hat trick from happening. St. John up to Laskowitz. Carey coming out. Well, there's the feed to St. John. Sharp save by Rushka. Timeout Oshawa with 43.1 to go as they get possession in the offensive zone on that reset. Ryan McMichael talking to his offensive set as they prepare to come out of this timeout, see what kind of set play they run. I'm sure it'll be the same group as was out there for the power play before. Over on the Brampton bench, Jeff Snyder and Jeff Dowling talking to their defenders. It'll be Horsley, Beam, Halls, and Neil Adamson are the penalty killers in front of Rushka. Ryan Campbell also on the bench for the Express. $43.1 to go. 35 on the penalty and 20 on the shot clock as St. John gets it back from Laskowitz down to Gilmore. Cutters through the middle. Little scissor pick. You go to back door to St. John. He stepped in the crease. Well, maybe he didn't. They're saying it was okay. That's going to be grabbed there by Beam. Well, eventually grabbed. He's going to shovel it ahead, trying to reach around Laskowitz. Didn't quite get there. Still lots of time on the shot clock in the period. 15 seconds left, but just 5 on the power play. Nice hustle by Matthews, ripping back into the defensive zone. He's up on St. John. Pick from Gary, that's too much. Just an illegal pick, though. It's just possession call, which will become irrelevant as we go to halftime with the score 8-5 in favor of the Brampton Express. This is a dandy. It should be a terrific second half. Make sure you stay with us for more Arena Lacrosse League action here at Children's Arena in Oshawa. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to Arena Lacrosse League action at Children's Arena in Oshawa, Ontario. I'm Stephen Stamp. That is the Brampton Express coming out of their change room after halftime with an 8-5 lead. And down at the other end of the floor, the Oshawa Outlaws coming out. And we will start at 5-on-5, but we will have a couple of players still in the penalty boxes. That's going to be Jeremy Searle for the Brampton Express and Trent Robertson, who will be there in a moment from the Oshawa Outlaws. They each received 10-minute misconducts, which they are serving. They'll be out with about 11:54 to play here in the third quarter. Their minors were served by the in-home players. The officials just explained to everyone exactly what's going on. As Robertson and Searle are in there. So it was a minor for unsportsmanlike conduct to Trent Robertson with Oshawa, and a double minor for roughing to Jeremy Searle. Oshawa had that power play opportunity, and now it'll be the first dead ball stoppage, or first full stoppage after the 11:54 mark. Officials have explained it to the Brampton bench. Now they're making it clear to the Oshawa bench. Here we go. Halls and Haig back at the dot. The 5-1 Express up against the 2-5 Outlaws. You wouldn't know there's that much of a gap. First and last place, would you? It's a pretty good game here. Another long face-off battle as everyone just circles around. If you're a young player, notice Ben McDonald to the right. He's making sure nobody can just beat him immediately towards the Oshawa goal when the ball pops out. Good heads-up play. 24 seconds of grinding. Oshawa gets possession, and Ryan McMichael, the head coach for Oshawa, just called over to the Brampton bench and said, "Can we just play rock, paper, scissors from now on? This is boring." And yeah, I wouldn't be averse to that. Oshawa with possession, 8 seconds left on the shot clock, down to 6. You can hear them yelling clock from the bench. So a rip by Braden McDonald. Braden Hickey gets off target, and it's going to be Brampton possession just over a minute into the third quarter. Istrat with a little spin. He'll hand it off and head to the bench. Not sure who was coming out for Istrat. Okay, now they will get. Yeah, they're going to get Mitchell Jeffroy was the guy coming on. They were just waiting to see if they needed to go back, send a defender out. They did not. Josh Shiguri falls. Gets that one, though, as he pops up. Outlet pass ahead to Nick Webb. Webb sneaks one over to Terry. That one's tipped as he tried to get it to St. John. Hard working shift from McDonald. St. John comes up with it, though, over to Ryan Nolan on the near side. He gets one off the post as he snuck that past the Brampton defender. Scooped up here by Keegan Walsh. Hands it off. Ferreira will get this one back. Hard rip, stopped by Jackson Brown, still between the pipes for Oshawa. Lane Rushka still in the crease for the Express. Reagan Martinell leaves it there. And St. John setting up the Oshawa O. Just waiting for Hickey to come out and join them as the fifth attacker. Gilmore Looking to feed it to Hickey, but the lane was taken away, so St. John rips it off the post. Oh, he's going to be outrun. Nathan Jones with the wheels. Got two trailers. Finds Istrat. Good decision, but the save by Jackson Brown. Istrat has been deadly in transition, but he has turned aside. He's ready to go. And they're going to say, no, you got to come start in the corner. And play will be blown in. Fresh 20 for the Express. Keane got it to Sunderland. Oh, sorry, that was Ty Ingram. There's a rip from Curtis Ward. Stopped by Jackson Brown. Ward and Sunderland with 13 and 14 goals, the top two goal scorers for the Express, but they really haven't been the focal points tonight. I don't think Brampton usually has a focal point. They just play offense. But right there, it's Zach Terry, who is a focal point for the Outlaws. Coming in with 22 goals on the season. I believe that's a hat trick tonight. And we've got ourselves a 2-goal game, 3:15 into the third. And that goal does release Searle and Robertson from the penalty box. Robertson is out on the floor for this face-off, as he tends to be for the Outlaws. Oh. And the ball pops out after only 10 or 15 seconds of mucking about at center. And now we have a real battle for it. Snagged there by Halls. Not sure what the call was other than keep playing. Brampton possession. Curtis Ward takes it. Tyler Halls is out there. He and Robertson having a go at each other there. Tyler Halls setting some hard picks on Robertson. That would appear, and that's going to be an over and back. It would appear to be the primary focus of Hall's shift, staying on offense, was to go ahead and get after Robertson. Oshawa slowly into the offensive set. Up to Gilray. Hard rip from Laskowitz, but straight to the train on the chest of Lane Rushka. Outlet pass. He finds Daniel Clark. Not the Daniel Clark you might be thinking of from Peterborough. He goes by DJ, so we would do that. This is Daniel Clark with Brampton. Nice job tracking that one down by Ferreira. Runs himself into open space, gets a shot off. It's a little wide. They're going to run out of time. Ferreira got it back, but was trying to get a shot off as he was falling. Knew that the shot clock was running down. That'll be Outlaws possession. Here comes Kobe Hanser. He'll hand it off to Gilray and go set a screen. Rushka statues after making that stop to make the ball sure the ball didn't pop loose. We are 5 minutes into the third quarter. It's still 8-6 for Brampton. As Horsley will hand it off to Ward and go and try and open some space. We've got a man behind the net. Horsley's going to take the shot and step in the crease as he's about to pick it up. That'll be a crease violation. Istrat, after being behind the net, is dogging Ryan Nolan. Traps him at center. Chamberlain stepped right around the center line. Of course, in the logo, there's no line. So the refs had to gauge that, and they're saying he was just clear. Good effort by Chamberlain to stay onside. And that leads to a goal by Jake Gilmore. That underscores how important that work was by Reed Chamberlain at center after all kinds of pressure from Pent Istrat. 9:28 to go in the third, and we've got a 1-goal game. It's 8-7 for Brampton. Oshawa really asserting themselves. Ball comes out. Grab back to Gurry, and it's going to be a penalty to Brampton. I think a slashing call. They're going to call illegal cross check to Tyler Halls. And the Outlaws have pulled within one, and now we'll have a power play opportunity to try and tie it up. Keep your eyes on Pent Istrat, number 3. He'll be at the top of the penalty kill with Jonah Beam for Brampton. He has a couple of shorthanded goals in this game. Andrew Horsley and Neil Adamson down low on the penalty kill. Strong right again for Oshawa. Same number 1 power play they've been going with Chamberlain here, down to Gilray. Got Gilmore on the back door, the lefty crease. Shot by Laskowitz was blocked out front, comes out to St. John, 10 on the shot clock. Back door, Chamberlain, twister. Stop there will be a reset. They're going to call loose ball push on Horsley. Laskowitz gets it back up top to St. John. There's a rip from Laskowitz, turned aside by Rushka. Another one, that one again is stopped. Right on top of the crease, Reed Chamberlain. Over to Laskowitz. A flurry of activity in the Brampton zone. They go back door to Gilmore. That is not in. Out to Istrat. Istrat will circle. Tried the hidden ball trick. Searle's got it. Istrat's staying. 15 on the shot clock as they go to Istrat. Searle trying to cut through the middle. Oh, they try to spring Ward. Good recognition there by McDonald and Webb. Ward does get a shot off, but Brown was able to see it all the way. Lobs it ahead to McDonald. 30 seconds left in the Oshawa power play. Tyler Hall's over in the penalty box, just itching to get out. Back up to St. John at the top. Seven on the shot clock. You hear the bench saying you got to go. Gilray to the cutting St. John. They score. What patience from the Outlaws. And then just before the 30 was to expire, St. John takes the pass in the middle and tucks that one home. Started slowly in terms of goals this year, although he was racking up the assists right from the start. He leads the league coming into this game with 36 assists. Had 9 goals. Took him a while, then one day, all of a sudden, boom, add 6. And things were taken off for him. Ball pops out. Hickey has it. Gets an underhand shot off. Tracks after. It's going to be grabbed there. And there's a chance for Haig. That's Ryan Haig, the defender, not his twin brother Gareth, who's in, I believe, still in a walking boot after a lower body injury. Garrett's usually the one up front scoring. He is fourth on the team now in points with 21 through his 5 games, 9 goals and a dozen assists. You certainly miss him in the offensive zone. Broken stick. Putback attempt was missed. So as part of the stick along the boards, the end of the shaft is out in front, and they're going to blow play down so they can get that stick out of the way. Actually, I think it's officials' timeout time. Yeah, Rushka's going to the bench. We should have the officials' timeout. We do, with 6:33 to go, and an 8-8 lacrosse game. Told you to stay tuned. I'm sure you're glad you did. Stay with us for Arena Lacrosse League action here from Children's Arena. All right, lacrosse friends, we're ready to roll once again. Brampton possession. Curtis Ward with the ball in the corner. We are all evened up at 8-8 with 6.5 to go here in the third. And we are 5-on-5. Jeremy Sherrill up at the top. A little handcuffed by that pass. A little casual, but he made the catch. The pass was casual. Behind the net, they've got the cutting Searle. Hanser pushes him into the crease. Ferreira got the shot off. It was after the buzzer. Ref's right on top of that one. And they hit St. John. Hanser getting it to him. He's going to head back over to his side. Hidden ball trick. They're on it this time. Neil Adamson blocks it with his foot. Don't think he enjoyed that much. But he jumps right back in. Terry goes through. It's a pair of somewhat wounded warriors battling there. Terry got a good shot off, and Rushka from his knees. A little outlet pass to Adamson, who's going to spin. He's got to get across. He just made it. It was very close to the 8-second count. Here's Nathan Jones. He's going to stay in play. 15 left on the shot clock. Ward looking for the shovel pass. Turn aside. That's Laskowitz back on D. See if they go after him. They kind of are, but he's actually holding up okay. He's going to be grabbed there by Clofer. Flings it ahead. And Horlak into the offensive zone. Gets away from Gilmore. That's going to be a turnover. Halls will cut behind the net and now pick up speed. Gilray watching him. Gilray now stuck on D, as is Braden Hickey, although Hickey plays some defensive shifts. See if they go after Gilray. Halls is out there. It's going to be a rip off the post, I think, by the way it came out. Brown threw his foot over. Play's going to be blown back in fresh 20 for the Express. Here's Sunderland. Robertson out pressuring him as he flips it to Jeffroy. Martinell takes a big pick on the hip. The rip from Sunderland. Came into the game leading the team with 14 goals, and you see plenty of that from him. An absolute beautiful rocket from Zach Sunderland. Brampton forges ahead again. 4:32 to go in the third. They're up by 1, 9-8. Colin Matthews comes to take this draw in lieu of Halls, who was out for that offensive shift. He'll be up against Haig. Both teams having to get their last player out on the floor. We're ready to go. And the ball comes out quickly. Yay. Jonah Beam almost had that. Shoveled ahead. Matthews couldn't quite come up with it. Does eventually. Nice job being aware of Hickey coming after him. Still all kinds of pressure. Nice agility by Colin Matthews. Flips that ball over and Brampton into the offensive zone. 14 to play. Sunderland had the last goal. Now he comes to Ward on Hickey. Twister wide on the far side. They're going to run out of time. Just one on the shot clock. Istrat will rip one. Wide of the net anyway. Bounces up out of play. About 3 reasons you could give that one to Oshawa. Take your choice. Robertson ahead to Hanser, and he gets it to Reed Chamberlain. Laskowitz was looking to Chamberlain, but he was picked up by Horsley, and they've gone to the lefties. Terry with the pick. There's the roll. Pass didn't connect. A little behind the back flip from Ruska. Very casually and calmly. And Horsley just makes the 8-second count. Had to extend the stick to get the ball over center. Oh, what a save. Round throws out the foot to rob Jeremy Searle after a nice pass from Ferreira. And here comes McPherson on the run. He'll hand it off to Ryan Nolan. They're going to slow things down, get it over to Terry, and the O will set up. This is Gilray. McPherson is out there to set a pick for him. Oh, Terry off the post. Somehow wound up back in the middle of the crease, but Brampton comes away with it. Great job sprinting forward by Matthews. Oh, and then he gets flattened as he was falling backwards anyway, and Trent Robertson just finishes the job. Martinell up over center. Very solid game tonight from Reagan Martinell. .15 on the shot clock. Oshawa just getting their attackers out. Laskowitz, the last one. He's going to fire from downtown. That hit somebody out front. 5 on the shot clock, so Jonah Beam is just going to muck. Get some help from Halls. Takes a shove from Braden Hickey. Will fight his way out of the black jersey surrounding him and head to the bench. Brampton with 2:10 to go here in the third. Over to Jeffroy. They're just finishing up their changes. Nathan Jones get to the bench. Ward to Sunderland. He'll duck underneath. Good D there from McDonald and Webb working together. Boy, those two work together nicely. .149 to go. It's 9-8. And Oshawa's going to try and even things up. Nicholas Webb up over center. St. John fighting through the checking of Jonah Beam. Hangs on to a little sidearm pass to Chamberlain. A dozen on the shot clock. Chamberlain reverses course. He's got a man open. It's Webb. He's going to try and hit the cutting Terry. Nice pass. Oh, head save by Lane Rushka, who just managed to stay upright enough to stop that one. What a save. And then the Oshawa player, I guess it was Terry, went through the crease, tried to play the ball. So that will be Brampton possession. 1:15 to go. They still lead by 1. Ward through a couple of defenders. Hofer will give him another pop. Nolan picks that one off. He's heading the other way. Ferreira heading back to cover him in defensive transition. Ferreira heads to the bench. Nolan will hand the ball off to Gilray, and he'll go for a change. Hard shot from Gilray, but Rushka just gets the foot and stick over there. Hickey trying to get the ball back, but Ice Trap battling with him. Oh, Hickey almost came away with it. Does tap it back and is scooped by one hand by Gilmore. Gets it over to Gilray. So no fresh 20 as Brampton didn't possess the ball. So down to 4-3 on the shot clock. That one's off of Brampton. That should be Oshawa possession. That went off a Brampton player. Yeah, and they now are calling the touch. So with 18 seconds left, Brown goes to the bench. Extra attacker is Zach Terry. That's 4 lefties for Oshawa. And it gets away from Terry, but doesn't roll over center. They've got a dozen left. St. John to Terry. Pulls it down, rips it. That could be trouble. Almost a chance for Istrat to take off. Now just a second left. Boy, if Istrat had been able to come up with that ball, he was gone and breakaway on the empty net. But Oshawa grabs it, and we are going to go to the final 15 with a 1-goal game. Brampton 9, Oshawa 8. I'm Steven Stamp. Thanks for being with us here in Arenalacrosseleague action. 15 minutes or more to decide a winner. Halls and Haig back to the dot. $15 seconds. Halls gives up and just tries to rake it out. They're going to say withholding on Haig, and possession goes to the Express. Ward wanted to get going down at the offensive door. They're going to send him back where he has to start where possession was awarded. It's going to be an illegal pick. A little bit feisty there from Sunderland. They had Hickey up the floor, but look at the work from Nathan Jones to get that ball back for Brampton. Great effort from Jones, and then uses his quickness to get out of trouble and set up Brampton in the offense. Liam Kane with the ball. He'll flip one across to Sunderland. That one's blocked out front. Hickey's taking off. The Express have it back, though. Sunderland's going to track this down. 2 on the shot clock. He'll just flip it over his shoulder. Wise veteran play. Oshawa coming into the offensive zone. Ben McDonald. I do like to point out, for anyone wondering if it's McDonnell or McDonald, it is McDonald. You may hear differently. Talk to Ben. Talk to his parents. I assure you. What a twister from Chamberlain. He's been going twister all night long. But Rushka with the save. Excellent save. Not an ideal pass, but he did get it out to Thomas McDonald. Here's Curtis Ward. He's going to bail out on that offensive side, come over to Istrat and reset things. Nice job by Hanser. That's a big pick. Yeah, you got to call that one. Yeah. Zach Sunderland didn't like it, but chance the other way for Kobe Hanser. That one's a little too far. And it's going to get up into the netting ahead of Penn Istrat. Quickly ahead from Jake Strocher. They're going to blow play down and say they've got to go back and start. Strocher just started a little early, so Josh Taguri will take this one over to Laskowitz. Taguri goes for a change. Zach Terry's the fifth attacker. He heads down the middle. It's going to be an illegal pick at this end. And now it's going to be Brampton possession. Istrat wide open. Nice job by Halls knowing where he was. Then Istrat's going to slow things down. Nobody's open. There are no good passing lanes. Good job coming to make himself available by Ferreira. He wanted Sunderland to cut. Wasn't happening, so he goes to Ward. Now Sunderland will get the ball on the near side. Drives underneath. That's going to be a holding penalty. Delayed call attempt there from Ferreira. He'll be tapped ahead. The shot clock will expire. McPherson thinks he's got a breakaway. He does not, because that holding call on Adam Horalak will be adjudicated. Horalak has his stick shattered in two pieces. So he's going to head to the penalty box, and they'll go grab his backup twig. Be Webb and Taguri at the top of the penalty kill. McDonald and Nolan down low as Brampton goes lefty strong with Ferreira up top. Sunderland gets it back from Kane. Kane rips a pass to the back door, just gets away from Ferreira. They've got 16 left to shoot. Backdoor attempt, that one's in. Nice pass from Sunderland, and Curtis Ward gets it on net. Jackson Brown got a bit, but not quite enough. Power play goal, 19 seconds into the man advantage, will make it 10-8 for Brampton. First goal of the fourth quarter. A big one as the game had been going back and forth. Oshawa really developing some momentum through the game. Getting it back to tied up, but now back-to-back goals from the Express. 2:57 into the fourth quarter. Brampton up by 2. Haig rips it out immediately. Taguri after it. So is Horsley, though. Taguri comes up with it to Robertson. There's Robertson. This is the kind of play I really liked when he was with Ottawa in the preseason. You can see the speed and the awareness to get to a safe space. Then hands it off to Josh Gilray. St. John, nice one-hand grab. Gets a shot off. Rushka stopped it with the right hand. Almost, it looked like, knocked it back towards his own net. Laskowitz now will fire it towards that net. Rushka makes the stop, and we'll leave it there. Pass out to Istrat. Nice awareness there from, that's Ben McDonald. We're 20 for Oshawa. Very aware of the picks coming. Brampton working hard to try and open their guys up. Pretty good defensive effort, though, from Oshawa. And then the chance for Ward. Drifting through the air, but Brown stays with him. Pass ahead to Hickey, who caught it right at the center line. Backdoor attempt just wide was Laskowitz. McDonald can't pick it up. It's swatted ahead by Brampton. St. John's heading down there, but he's going to be outrun by Daniel Clark, who will get possession back for Brampton. Fresh 30 for the Express in the offensive zone. Lob pass across to the near side. That's Ty Ingram. Ward getting a pick from Ferreira. Shot from Sunderland is wide. Comes back. Behind the back pass. Step around. Nice job by Ferreira, but now he loses it. Strocher, or Hanser, sorry, we'll get that one. Get it ahead. St. John, who's back in the defensive zone. 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, it's 10-8 for the Brampton Express. St. John watched by Adamson. He'll flip it across to Gilray. Got away from him, but he recovers. Tried the behind the back pass. Didn't get it directly to Laskowitz, but he does come up with it. 6 left to shoot. Oshawa scores. Gilray from the corner. The Outlaws were already making the defensive change. Nick Webb was out at center. Trent Robertson was going out. And Gilray, just a little step back underhand, sneaks it through to pull the Outlaws back within 1. 9:42 to go here in the fourth. Hagen Hall's at the dot. Not really a dot. It's just part of the white of the sea in rock on the Toronto Rock logo. There's the battle of the dot, and then there's the battle between Trent Robertson and Colin Matthews. 12 in the white and 21 in black. Now it's McDonald. See, now here come Matthews and Robertson again. Pops out. Brampton agitating for a slashing call after a big pop coming out of that scrum. Oshawa will get possession and look to tie things up once again. Long bounce pass gets through to Chamberlain. He's going to give it up and head to the middle. He and Gilray will try and open some space for Laskowitz. Hard rip saved by the leg of Rushka. But St. John pops in to get it. Fakes the pass. Looked like he was faking another and actually threw that one up to Gilray. Laskowitz has it. Watched by Jones. Give and go. Big save by Rushka. After that really nice feed from Laskowitz into Chamberlain. He is robbed. Now Brampton coming forward through Istrat. Josh Taguri step for step with him. Jeremy Searle heading towards the Brampton bench, waiting for the change to happen. Istrat will get off. 4-3 on the shot clock. Swim move by Ward. Switches to righty and gets the shot off, then chases after. Good effort from Ward, but Taguri, unflappable, gets it. Now sprinting ahead. He's got a few seconds. Makes it handily over the timeline. Trailed by Ward. Now Ward's out there for the defensive shift. Oshawa with an advantage in numbers here. Reed Chamberlain's shot bounces off the post, up out of play, and it's a fresh 20 for the Outlaws. We near the midway point of the fourth. Big save, Rushka, up and out of play. And with 7:29 to go in the fourth, we just barely hit the midway point, which means officials timeout. We'll take a 2-minute break and we'll come back to see who can win this dandy of a lacrosse game. It's the Brampton Express 10, Oshawa Outlaws 9. I'm Steven Stamp. This is Arena Lacrosse League action. Welcome back, lacrosse friends. 7:29 to go. See Lane Rushka tapping his friends the goalposts. As Oshawa will begin with possession, they'll come straight up to John St. John. Over to Laskowitz. It's 10-9 Brampton. Oshawa looking to tie. That's going to be a holding call on Tyler Halls. Jackson Brown racing to the bench. They've got 6 to shoot. Laskowitz will rip and scores. It'll be an extra attacker goal. Laskowitz on fire. We're all tied up at 10. $7:12 to go. Laskowitz from downtown. Penalties wiped out, so we remain 5-on-5. Haig pulls it, but back between the legs, straight to McDonald, who loses the ball. Just couldn't quite corral it. Here's Istrat. Brampton's going to slow things down a bit. Up to Adamson, back to Istrat. He bounces one through, and Sunderland's going to rip from the offside. That's an over and back. McDonald taking off after it. Hickey with him. They'll have to start in the corner. Looks like McDonald will head to the bench as Hickey flips this one up to Gilray. Hickey stays for the offensive set. He's quite comfortable up in the offensive zone. Laskowitz feeling it. Rips one from downtown again, but that one is wide. Now it's Sunderland. Evades everybody. Faked the pass across. Slow thing. Oh, the cutter backdoor. It's a big save by Jackson Brown as Oshawa just lost Curtis Ward coming off the bench. One of the most dangerous Brampton players. Wide open for a look on the back door. Gray ahead to Gilmore. St. John moves on to Gilmore. He's going to rip a low to high, but again, right in the middle of that train. They tried to get it through to Chamberlain, but it hits the turf and Rushka. Going to lob it ahead. Istrat has it bounce off a stick. His leg back to his stick, though. He maintains control. He gets it to Ferreira. He's going to slow things down a little. Mitchell Jeffroy trying to open some space for him. We're all tied up. And we're still tied up after that Jackson Brown save on the shot from Kane. That pass, though, is going to be turned over. Hustling on is Neil Adamson. He'll bounce one ahead. Heads up play. And here comes Ferreira. Rips it ahead to Ward, who was looking at the give and go, but wasn't really there. Wisely hangs onto it. Here's Sunderland. Spins away from the check from Clofer. Clofer getting back, but spins away again. Just wide. Yeah, just off target. It's up and out of play. McDonald running forward with it for the Outlaws. St. John ducks towards the net. Twister just far wide. Gets up out of play. It'll be Brampton possession. Oh, play stopped because we had two balls on the floor. That's what was going on. Good job, Colin Matthews. Tosses it ahead. Here's Istrat. Watched by Hanser, who fights through that pick. Fights for another one. Tried to connect there with Max Brook. Couldn't get it to him. It is scooped up by Kane, who will fight through a check. Flips one one-handed. Pass out front. Oh, what a play! Terrific passing. Tic-tac-toe. Finished off by Max Brook. Taking the pass from Istrat after the effort work from Liam Kane. What a job there for the Express to pull ahead 11-10 with 4:21 to go. If I were you, I'd go back and watch that one a couple of times and then keep the game going. Hagen hauls. Haig pulls it back. Taguri grabs it but gets swatted, and Halls takes it away. He's aware of Taguri's presence. Heads towards the bench and just a little underhand pass. That's going to be an over and back. Oshawa possession. Hickey checked closely by Ty Ingram. They hit the backdoor cutter. Oh, that's not a goal. Was that a save or off the post? I didn't see it happen so quickly. Now there's one the other way. Nathan Jones, he stepped in the crease. Heck of a play, spinning, making the catch, spinning the shot off. But I'm pretty sure both feet were actually in the crease already by the time he shot that. McDonald trying to convince him he was going to shoot, but he goes to Laskowitz. Probably a pretty good idea, but it stopped. And now the outlet pass. Nice catch from Keegan Walsh. Tried to feed it to Ferreira. 3:19 to go. Still a 1-goal lead. Very much a Brampton-style game. As again, they've scored 15.7 goals a game. Only allowed 10.2. Right now they've allowed 10. But Oshawa having a much better defensive effort than they have most of the season and giving up 15.7 goals. Now driving to the net to try and tie it up is Gilmore. He rolls out wisely. And Laskowitz will get the rip putback attempt. Terry, he stepped in the crease after picking up that ball. It'll be Brampton possession. They'll make the pass ahead to Daniel Clark. Pressure from Jeff Geddes. Clark switches it up over to Halls. 2:40 to go. 17 on the shot clock. Eight to shoot. Kane behind the back. Oh, what a save, Jackson Brown. Robbing Ferreira to keep the Outlaws within one. Here's Robertson. Oh, he tried to make the pass down into the corner. Just gets it too high. Hits the rafters, and it's going to be a turnover. Jones. And Jones was just jogging with the ball before play was blown back in. So they're going to have to stop things for a moment. And Ice Strat will start with the ball with 2:13 to go. Brampton maintaining their 1-goal lead. Lob pass to the near side. Sunderland. Watched by Taguri. Little pick there. Well defended by Taguri. Get some help from Nolan. And then Nolan picks up. Does he pick? Yes. I was going to say Sunderland looked like a chance for Max Brook there. But good defense from Oshawa. That late shot forced by the Outlaws D. And it's going to be turned over as Brown gets it ahead to Kobe Hanser. Off to St. John. Zach Terry. That's going to be an over and back. Penn Istrat, he's going to have to go into the corner. He wants to start right there. That's not how it works. He knows. He backs away. Lobs it back out to Halls. 1:22 to go. Brampton still up by 1. Ferreira to the near side. Kane's going to take his time. 15 on the shot clock. Gets a pick from Istrat. Passes across to Ward. That one was blocked by a defender out front. Hickey couldn't get it. It's going to be swatted back into the offensive zone by the Express as the 30 expires. And Oshawa will take their timeout with 54.9 seconds to go, trailing by 1. Jackson Brown met by Trent Robertson with a bottle of water, but Brown continues strolling to the bench. I'd imagine he's going to stay there. Let's see how many guys are in there. Yeah, there's 6 offensive players huddled around Ryan McMichael. 6 on the floor. It's Hickey, Laskowitz, St. John, Gilmore, Chamberlain, and Gilray. Zach Terry on the bench for now. At the other end, it's Istrat, Horsley, Halls, Beam, and Adamson. Yeah, all the usual suspects for Brampton heading out there for this final minute. What we believe will be a 6-on-5. So Terry does step out onto the floor. So it'll be Gilmore, Terry, and St. John. The lefties of St. John's going to have to go down to the other end of the floor to start with the ball. Chamberlain, Gilray, and Laskowitz, the righties. Brown on the bench. 55.4 on the clock. They added half a second. Play is blown in. 11-10 Brampton. Oshawa with the ball. Hand it to Gilmore. St. John feeds it over to Laskowitz. Gets away from him. It is scooped up by Chamberlain. There's Gilray with 11 on the shot clock. Hard sidearm shot that's off target. Comes out to St. John, though. Backdoor to Laskowitz. That's in. Broken play, but the Outlaws make the most of it. What a pass The league's top assist man, John St. John, to the back door, and Laskowitz, so dangerous, ties it up 11-11 with 29.8 to go. Oshawa has used their timeout, of course, just before that play. So if Brampton gets possession, and they are going to take their timeout if they get possession. The officials just went over to let Jeff Dowling know, yeah, you've got your timeout. And he said, yeah, we'll take it if we get the ball. So if the Express get it, it'll be blown down immediately. If Oshawa gets it, they're going to try and get up and get another one. Stakes are pretty high here. Clock is ticking away. It's ripped out. Loose ball push. Brampton has it. They want timeout. They will get it, and Elaine Rushka will be able to make the casual stroll down the length of the floor. Ryan Campbell will set up the offensive set. He's got Kane, Ward, Searle, Ferreira. I'd imagine that's Sunderland. Can't quite see. And there'll be one more. For Oshawa, it looks like they'll have Nolan, Taguri, McDonald, Webb, and Robertson as their group of defenders to face the 6-on-5. 21.8 to go when we restart play with 11-11 the score. So Brampton's going to wait till the final seconds to get a shot off. Different situation than Oshawa faced because obviously since they were down by a goal, they could just go anytime. Don't have to wait, especially because there's more than 30 seconds. More time in the game clock than the shot clock. Whoa, hang on. Okay, Rushka's going back to the net, so they're not going to, at least they're not going to start in 6-on-5. Oh, yeah, they are. They just called Rushka, just called Lehner as he was about 2/3 of the way to his net. Kane going to start with possession. Ferreira's behind the net. Watch out for him. Do they know he's there? I think Robertson is aware. He's turning to look. He's in the red helmet. Yeah, he keeps looking. You can see him stepping up now. Here they go. 9 seconds. They can shoot in a few. Ward flips it down to Kane. Tries to hit the cutter. Searle doesn't get it. Robertson fires it into the open net. It was definitely after the buzzer. No question. Don't think there was any chance for him to get it there in time. It would have had to be. Robertson throws his hand up. He's saying it's a goal. He knows it's not. We're going to go to overtime. All right, lacrosse friends, we're going to have a winner soon. Sudden death, sudden victory, whatever you prefer to call it. The next goal wins. 10 minutes up on the board. Haig and Halls once again at the dot. Been quicker at getting the ball out lately. Hopefully that continues. What a thriller this has been. Haig rips it out to himself. Oh, he took about 3 steps with the ball. Brampton wants possession. Will not be given to them, and Trent Robertson will step over center. Laskowitz with it. Thinking about it. Nicely defended by Istrat. Boy, he's had himself a game. St. John behind the back to Terry. Stopped, and it's a crease violation. Great chance for Terry. Now it's Brampton going the other way. Istrat hands it off. Ward. Ward spins. McDonald picks him up. That shot wide is going to get up through. No, it does hit the rafter. I could see that one. It looked like it was making its way through. Just hit one. And it's Oshawa possession. McDonald lobs it ahead. Laskowitz had to be sharp there. He's under all kinds of pressure from Istrat. Here's Zach Terry over to St. John. Fake the pass. Goes for the shot. Save. Rushka was right in position for that one. Nice move by St. John, but Rushka was well ready for that underhand shot. And Andrew Horsley steps up over center. This is Jeffroy, cradling as he heads down into the corner. Looked like Brooke was a little surprised he had that ball. Kane, dipsy doodling, trying to cut through. Pass to Gurry, diving attempt. No good. Jackson Brown just gets enough. What a chance for Kane, but it's turned aside. Jackson Brown and the Outlaws live to fight another possession. Here's Gilray. Gilray's going to come up to Laskowitz, isn't he? No, he's going to try and duck underneath. Dives, just misses on that shot as he attacked the crease. What a great opportunity for Gilray. He was absolutely right to go for that one. Istrat hits the official. It comes right back to him. Bit unlucky and then lucky. That one's up and off of Brown. Oh, no, he missed the net out of play, so it's going to be Oshawa possession. Here's Nick Webb. He'd be an unlikely overtime hero, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's going to stay in place at a big pick for Laskowitz. Much more who you'd be taking if you're picking your goal scorer from each team. Or that guy, Zach Terry, but he is stopped. Tries to put some pressure on Rushka. Gets it to Halls. It's a 3-on-2 with the trailer. Shot by Halls. That's going to come all the way back to Terry, who stepped over him back. Picked up the ball, stepped on the center line. Stopped by Rushka. Brampton's bench was livid that that call was not made. It's going to be Brampton coming away with it, but Hickey, with the forecheck pressure, pops out and is eventually going to be scooped up here by Horsley, who gets up over center, just beating the 8 count. Ferreira fights through the check. Running downhill is Kane, drives his man down, rips it, but Brown just curls around that ball after making the stop. Robertson, 2 hopper, ahead to Chamberlain as Oshawa goes back into the offensive zone. He was watched by Beam, leaves it there for Gilray. Almost scored a little while ago. We're 3.5 into a wildly entertaining overtime period. That one's up out of play. It's going to be Brampton possession. Got stuck in the ceiling for a bit, almost being Jeff Dowling as it did eventually fall down. I don't know that he sees the humor in that at the moment. He's pretty involved in this one, obviously, but it's kind of funny for those of us just watching. Nice pass across. Handed off to Jeffroy. He'll bounce one. Brown lays back on it. Kept it out. Yeah, it was well under him. Probably a foot away from the goal line. Here comes Hanser. He gets some help from Zach Terry. Gilray once again. Is he going to try to get underneath? Istrat's watching. You can see Istrat's ready for whatever move happens. Here's Laskowitz sending a pick. There's the roll out to Laskowitz. Spins. Big pick there. We've seen lots of those called. Not this time. Backdoor attempt for Gilmore. Outlet pass to Istrat. Good job by Oshawa getting their defenders out. Istrat pulls up. McDonald and Robertson, the first 2 guys out. I'm not sure who the forwards were, but credit to them for getting off the floor in that transition situation. Pass through to Ward, scores! Curtis Ward, the overtime winner. Lovely pass from Lucas Ferreira. Ward tucks it home. What a game. 12-11. Brampton prevails over Oshawa. Terrific matchup here at Children's Arena. I'm Steven Stamp. Thanks for being with us, lacrosse friends. We'll leave you with the handshakes, and make sure you come back to the Arena Lacrosse League YouTube channel and arenalacrosseleague.ca to check out all the action from a busy weekend in Arena Lacrosse League.